What's up YouTube, Card Boss here, back in another video talking about cards, money, investing. Q&A day, where I received a question on Instagram asking, PSA fees are so expensive now and we're a long way from value or economy submissions, but we all know that they'll be back one day. By this point, I noticed plenty of opportunities to buy raw cards at lower prices than before, and given that there is less opportunity to grade compared to 1 year ago, I potentially plan to store these raws away and grade them when PSA submission prices drop. Do you think that this is a viable strategy? Okay, firstly, to this viewer, you kind of read my mind on this subject, which I've debated internally for quite a while before coming to a conclusion. Hypothetically, we take this stack of Ja Morant 2019 rookie cards, which I say they're about like $2 a piece today. And here we have some PSA 9s and maybe some PSA 10s as well. PSA 9s for, let's say, we're looking at Chronicles, right? So these are low-end Ja Morant cards. Chronicles PSA 9 is probably around like $15, $20. And PSA 10, I believe they're about $40. And these raws, you could probably buy them for between $2 to $5 a piece. So you can see that there is significant price escalations between the raw and the slab. But that being said, grading prices with PSA, it's a minimum of $150 express, or if now, you can use $100 through group submissions, but it doesn't make much economic sense to buy any of these raws today to send for grading, So your question assumes that we buy up as many of these $2 to $5 cards today, and eventually when PSA prices, submission prices drop down to say $20 or $10, okay, and you send it for grading to get a PSA 9 or PSA 10, there would be some substantial gain. Okay, so my response to that is, this is a very dangerous game to play. So hear me out. Again, let's take this Ja Morant, for example. Ja is a great player, huge prospect, multiple All-Stars, maybe All-NBA, and who knows, MVP. But these are all ifs and speculations. Ja could be the next Kobe, next Iverson, Steve Nash maybe. But does that actually translate to hobby success, especially when you're looking at 2 to 3 years from now, when you're trying to turn around this $2 to $5 investment into something bigger? Like it or not, card prices are the demand for cards are normally in the early years, just before the players actually reach their prime. Because the NBA is structured in such a way that we get a new rookie class every year. Hype and attention is drawn towards those classes and gets further and further away from existing class. It's just not too long ago that we were discussing the class of 2018 of Luka and Trey. It's now 4 years already. And these two guys, while they're living out the promises, I can't say the same for the rest of the class, which started out with great promise. From the hobby perspective, think players like Jaren Jackson Jr., Mo Bamba, maybe Marvin Bagley to some extent. What about 2019, Ja Morant's class? We talk a lot about Ja and Zion, right? How quickly people forget about Zion, on how he actually dominated the paint just 1 year ago. And now all we talk about is his weight gain. So with all that media attention and narrative, the hobby focus has shifted accordingly as well. Next, we can't really assume that PSA premiums, like in this case, $5 to $20 to $40, right? We cannot assume that it's going to be there forever. Now, I don't mean that, let's say this PSA 10 Ja Morant slab, which is maybe let's say $40 today, will go down to $10. But it also doesn't mean that this is going to be a $100 card over time. You have to consider the type of products as well as the collectability, overall collectability of that particular card. You could start bringing out examples to say, oh, okay, let's not do Chronicles and let's go to something more stable, let's say Prism, right? These should hold premiums over time. True, but raw prices today for Prisms, for example, have already reached to the level of a PSA 9. So there isn't that much upswing or upside, as you compare, let's say, a Chronicles $5 to $20 or to $40. The multiples are not that, the premiums are already inbuilt in the raw prices, to jump up to PSA 9. Of course, PSA 10 is a different story. But then again, people are forgetting that once upon a time, graded cards weren't really a thing. It was actually silly to even think of paying some money to get modern cards graded. So, but don't get me wrong, I'm a huge advocate for grading, especially on older stuff. But for modern, it's purely an investment play. And looking at how the market has kind of soften overall, you have to wonder, is it still all worthwhile to create modern era cards? So in other words, if you are putting a sum of money on a player whom we think have great career, let's say like Ja, but because nothing is certain, and then waiting and hoping PSA will drop the prices soon, and then wait maybe another year for you to get back your submissions, and hope you still get to enjoy that same premium with a PSA 9 or PSA 10, and that's of course with a caveat that your cards actually grade well. So you see where I'm getting at? There's just so many variables to this strategy that if any one of them goes wrong, the house of cards will start come crashing down on you. So this exercise is not just to target a specific card or a player, let's say like Ja, but it's kind of like to train ourselves to think of the different scenarios when making an investment decision. We know things can be unpredictable, but we can actually reduce the number of various or possibilities of things that potentially will not go our way, and therefore we can actually stand a better chance at coming out on top, or i.e. making a profit. So now, circling back to the question from my viewer, I don't think buying cheap raws with the intention to plan for value grade in the future would be a good winning strategy. However, there might be some opportunity value in buying raws like this at a lower price today with the intention to hold and flip down the road. Again, this is very player dependent and maybe set dependent as well, but at this juncture I'll probably stay away from buying raws to grade for any Panini modern era cards, especially for base or non-serial numbered cards, rookie cards included. Alright, I hope this video has been useful. If you guys like this content, do drop a like and subscribe for future investing videos like this. Thanks for watching. Card Boss out.